What's up, y'all? It's Dr. Paul with another mail call. This is yet another Golden Age book that I'm adding to my PC. And if you've been following the channel, you know that I post a lot of books that I think are opportunities. I post about speculation opportunities, investment opportunities. Sometimes I talk about books that I'm adding to my PC, and I usually make a commentary about how if I have something that's not important to me but is an opportunity, I can acquire it so that I can use the proceeds if it's an opportunity to make a little bit of money. I can use the proceeds to get something that is important to me. This is almost like sealed up in a way that I can't even tell where it's ending, beginning and ending. So I'm gonna just pick a corner and cut through it. This is a slabbed book, so I know that I have a reasonable amount of protection here. So what is this book, and why do we care, as I like to say? Well, this is a very rare Golden Age book that is significant because of its rarity and also because of the characters portrayed and how early it is. This is a book that has a cover date of January 1941, which actually means that it went on sale November 1940. So a full year before we entered World War II. More Fun Comics, number 63, CGC 6.5, Conserved. What a treasure. So why do we care about this book? Well, as I mentioned before, again, if you're a fan of the channel, you've been paying attention, More Fun Comics is a very significant publication in the history of comic books. It was the first standard size book, the first book to put an issue number on the cover, a whole series of firsts, including the first Dr. Occult, who's a contemporary of Superman. And then you have my favorite two firsts from the series, Dr. Fate, who's first appears in More Fun 55, and the Spectre, who's featured on the cover here, who first appears in More Fun 52. Later in the series, More Fun introduces Aquaman, Green Arrow, Speedy, Johnny Quick, and Superboy among the major firsts in More Fun. So I think More Fun had more significant first appearances in the Golden Age than possibly any other anthology publication. This was an anthology, so this has about 8 stories in it, I think. So just one of them is the Spectre, one is Dr. Fate. These series, you know, like Action, like Detective, were published by DC. There were other companies that had anthologies out at the time, including Timely, which, you know, we know today as Marvel. These anthology series were the main way in which comics were published in the day before characters got their own titles. In fact, among those characters introduced in More Fun is, I don't believe any of them got their own titles. The Spectre and Dr. Fate were both members of the Justice Society of America, and we'll get back to that in a moment. I guess Superboy eventually gets his own title, but it's quite a bit later. He goes from More Fun over to Adventure. But Green Arrow, Aquaman did not have their own titles in the Golden Age, not until the Silver Age. So, a significant book. This is the 15th appearance of the Spectre. He has 12 appearances here, and I think 2 in All-Star, plus this one. But the Spectre's been around for less than a year at this point, because his first appearance is February 40. This is cover dated January 41. So the Spectre is only 11 months old. Dr. Fate's even less established at the time. This is only his 10th appearance, including a couple of appearances in All-Star and the rest in More Fun. The other really significant aspect of this book is it does have a full-page ad for All-Star number 3. All-Star number 3 is one of the most significant books of the Golden Age. It is the first appearance of the Justice Society of America, the JSA, and the JSA is the very first superhero team ever. So the concept was brand new, that we would put some superheroes together and we would give them a foe that is too powerful for any one of them to stop. And that all started in All-Star number 3. Without the JSA, you wouldn't have any of the superhero teams that come after, including the Justice League and, of course, eventually the Avengers. So, significant book. Let's talk about rarity. This is an extremely rare book in addition to being very significant. The CGC Census has only 27 total copies. Only 14 universal, 11 restored, 2 conserved, of which this is 1. I usually only talk about universal grade, but because this is such a rare book, I mean, it's worth mentioning that half of the copies in the census are not universal, right? You have 11 restored and 2 conserved. I do not mind conserved books at all. I do think they should sell at a little bit of a discount to universal, but if they've been conserved, CGC has deemed any work done to just be supportive of the book and to preserve it for long term. So, you know, why should we have rusty staples just to keep a full blue label, right? Let's replace them so that they're not further deteriorating the book. So conserved grade for me, again, it should sell at a slight discount to a universal, but it's not a big no-no like a purple label is. So a CGC 6.5 universal sold for about $4K, a little over that, earlier this year. This book is very difficult to determine fair market value because, again, there are only 27 total copies in the census. They don't change hands. If you're a Golden Age fan, when you see this book, you buy it because you may never see another copy again. There's one other offered for sale right now. It's an 8.5 universal. The seller is asking $9,500 for it. So within that context, what did I pay for this? I paid $29.60. That's all in the book, tax, shipping, which is about 3/4 of the price that the universal one went for earlier in the year. And I think that's about right. I think a conserved grade is worth something like 2/3 to 3/4 of what a universal label would be of the same grade. And so for me, again, considering the fact that I may never see another reasonable copy of this book for sale that I could add to my collection, I'm thrilled with that price, and I'm thrilled with the ability to add this to my personal collection and to be the caretaker for this book for a little while. Of note, here in the 10-cent box, you see there's a banner underneath that says 15 cents in Canada. There's a version that has that banner underneath blank that doesn't state 15 cents. CGC doesn't make a distinction between the two. So we don't know which is the rarer of the two versions. Suffice to say, both are rare as hen's teeth, right? And again, I'm not going to squabble over whether or not mine has the 15 cent in Canada or not. I'm going to just be thrilled to have a copy of this in my collection. Such a significant book. Great Bernard Bailey cover with the Spectre coming out of the smokestack of this steamer and presumably bringing some guys to justice here in the aircraft. So at any rate, just wanted to share this significant mail call with you. Hope you're out there enjoying this hobby as much as I am. you know, maybe flipping some books to get some revenue to purchase something like this. These things are on sale right now. At least a lot of them are. I think I paid pretty close to retail on this, but you've got to with books that are this rare. If you are always trying to bargain hunt on books that are this rare, you're unlikely to ever be able to purchase very many of them. So if you want to build a collection of Golden Age books, you got to pay retail for some of them. At any rate, enjoy the hunt and take care of one another.